There's a story hidden in the ancient night of Genesis. A story about a man, Jacob, a man who did something no one had ever done before. He wrestled with God. Not prayed, not bowed, not begged. He wrestled. And this wasn't just a physical struggle. It was spiritual, existential, eternal. It was the collision between human limitation and divine perfection, between man's pride and God's purpose. Jacob's whole life had been about grasping for blessings, for approval, for meaning. He deceived his brother, lied to his father, ran from his past. And still, the void remained. But that night, when he was alone, stripped of everything, he met the one he couldn't outwit, couldn't outrun, couldn't deceive. He met God, and instead of letting go, Jacob held on. Through pain, through confusion, through exhaustion. That's the moment where philosophy and faith meet. Because deep down, every thinking soul wrestles with something higher. A question, a truth, a presence that refuses to be ignored. We wrestle with the silence of God, with the meaning of suffering, with the idea that a perfect being allows imperfect pain. But here's the mystery. God didn't crush Jacob. He didn't end the fight. He wounded him and blessed him in the same breath. And that's what divine wrestling always does. It breaks your strength to reveal your spirit. Jacob walked away with a limp, yes, but that limp was proof of encounter, proof that he'd touched the infinite and survived. Maybe that's what life really is. A series of wrestlings with the unseen, with destiny, with conscience, with God himself. And every time we struggle, we are being remade. Because God doesn't fear your questions. He invites them. He meets you in the darkness of your doubt, not to destroy you, but to transform you. The philosopher might say the wrestle is symbolic to man reaching for meaning that forever escapes him. But faith says something different. The very fact that you wrestle means he's there. For how can one wrestle with nothing? In the end, Jacob lost the fight, but won the blessing. He was no longer the deceiver. He became Israel, the one who wrestled with God and prevailed. And maybe that's our story too. We don't overcome God by force. We prevail by holding on, even when everything in us wants to let go. Because sometimes the blessing is not in the victory, but in the struggle itself. So if you find yourself wrestling with your faith, your purpose, your pain, don't think you've fallen from grace. You're in the very place where grace is found. The man who wrestled God didn't walk away unscathed. He walked away transformed. And perhaps the limp you carry is not a sign of defeat, but a reminder that you've touched something divine. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe.